Hey, what's going on, guys? Mush back at it with another video. Humble is running their fantastic winter sale right now, and this winter sale is literally on the caliber of some of the bigger winter sales that we see. Not quite at the level of a Steam sale, but pretty damn close, and they're touting that thousands of games are on sale. I'm not gonna go through every single game and go over every deal. However, I have rounded out the 10 best deals on RPGs, at least in my opinion. There are a lot of great deals, and what's great about Humble is if you are a Humble monthly subscriber, you enjoy a 10% off discount on top of the deals that are available. So usually you're beating out the Steam deals. But not only that, they have the Humble Rewards program, so if you buy a game directly from Humble, you also get a little bit of money back, and that goes straight into your wallet, and you can put that towards your next purchase. It's not a lot, but all of these different savings add up and allow you to get games at a great price. So I just wanted to give you guys the heads up on that, and specifically with this video, we've got a couple of Western RPGs, we've got a couple of Japanese RPGs. I'll leave the JRPGs at the end, because I know those don't cater towards everyone, but without further ado, let's get right into it. And I thought, hey, let's change things up. I haven't mentioned the Witcher 3 Wild Hunt Game of the Year Edition in a very long time, just because it seemed like whenever one of these sales ran, I was mentioning this game because it is such a great deal. 60% off for $19.99, and then you do get $1 back through the Humble Rewards program. So if you look at it that way, essentially you're getting it for $19, which is a tremendous deal. If you guys have been following this channel for a long time, you know how I feel about The Witcher 3. I think it's an incredible game, and I literally think it is the pinnacle of single-player video game development. That is not a hyperbolic statement, that's just how I feel. I think this game nails every element that a single-player game needs to do. It's got a strong narrative, the visuals are incredible, the gameplay's strong, and of course the content is not only plentiful, but it's quality as well. And with the Game of the Year Edition, you get the base game, you get the DLC, and the DLC content's pretty sizable as well. It's a must-own title on PC, and back in 2015, it was one of the more difficult games to run, but at this point, in 2019, it's not all too difficult to run if you have mid-tier hardware. Now, I do have to note, if you buy from Humble, you do not get a Steam copy, you get a GOG copy, which is DRM-free, so I think that's just as good. GOG is a great platform. I personally like to have all my stuff on Steam, but GOG is definitely the second best alternative. So there you have it, Witcher 3, great game. If you have yet to buy it, you definitely should fix that ASAP. Moving on from that, also want to give a shout to Kingdom Come Deliverance, which is 50% off for $29.99 as well. You get $1.50 back with this, and if you are a monthly subscriber, you'll save a little bit more. Kingdom Come Deliverance is a great RPG. It's a historical RPG set in the 15th century medieval kingdom of Bohemia. And one thing this game really tries to nail is realism. Now, that might turn some people off because with that realism comes a high level of challenge and a little bit of a learning curve, but overall I still think the game is rather accessible, especially if you give it some time. And of course, it's a very immersive experience with its incredible visuals, great story and voice acting, and the setting, they just nailed that to a T. Now, this game was cheaper a little while ago over at GOG as a part of their 10th anniversary, so it's kind of hard to recommend this game at $30. However, that sale was a while ago. We're not getting a deal like that anytime soon. So if you've been eyeing this game, I would recommend it. However, I do foresee that at some point we will get some sort of complete edition release. That's just speculation on my part. But if you've waited this long and you're not all too eager to check out the game, maybe it's best to wait a little bit longer for that. However, if you've been on the fence for a little while, for $30, it's a great buy, and it's a much better product than what it was at launch. At launch, it had some technical issues, but a lot of that has been remedied at this point. So $30 for this is quite good. And moving on from that, gotta give a shout to Borderlands 2, the Game of the Year Edition. You can pick that up for $8 and change, and Borderlands 2 is a tremendous game. This was a title going back to 2012, was one of those games that gamers actually played on PC to see all of the visual fidelity. At this point in 2019, it still looks really good, but obviously it's not difficult to run. Seeing this game in motion at 4K, high frame rates, it's still a very visually pleasing game. And I love the aesthetic that Borderlands has. It's very different than a lot of other games. And the game itself is, of course, awesome. Now, the game is, of course, a lot of fun cooperatively, but when I talk about Borderlands, I always like to mention, because this game has this stigma of being a co-op-only game, I like to mention that the game is also very good solo. I played through the entirety of Borderlands 2 with solo and cooperative play, and I had a great time both times. There is a lot of fun to be had with the cooperative play, but the game is so chaotic and enjoyable that even if you're playing it solo, you're gonna have a lot of fun with it. And $8 and change for the Game of the Year Edition, that's a great buy. You get the base game, you get a lot of downloadable content, and you're getting a lot of hours of gameplay. Moving on from that, Monster Hunter World is down to $39 and change. Really good if you have monthly here. You'll end up getting it for $35 and change, and you do also get $2 back. So if you value it out with monthly, you end up getting it for like $33, which is quite good for Monster Hunter World. Monster Hunter World, of course, is a tremendous game, and since its launch on PC back in August, Capcom has made strides in making this a better game. This is a game that Capcom is going to stay very committed to, and already they've released free updates update after free update and just continue to expand the experience. MH World is an excellent game, and even if you've never played Monster Hunter before, obviously World is a great starting point, so I would give it a recommendation on that end as well. Really, the only issue with MH World is the price, $39 without monthly. That's a steep price to pay. However, for all the content that you're getting, I would say it's worth it. Moving on from that, we'll go from the most expensive game to the cheapest game on this list. Deus Ex Human Revolution Director's Cut is 83% off for $3.39. A fantastic deal for Deus Ex Human Revolution, and with monthly, you end up getting it for $3.05. You get 8 cents back. So overall value-wise, you'll end up getting this game for under $3. It's a great game. Obviously, Mankind Divided was released, but I think the majority of gamers will agree with me when I say that Human Revolution is the better game. The narrative is just a lot tighter, a lot cleaner, much better in this game. Gameplay is still very good, and with the Director's Cut, they do have some added benefits. You get the Missing Link DLC, which adds a couple of hours of content to the game, and you get some developer commentary as well. This is the optimal way to play Human Revolution. And for just about $3, it's a great game. Mankind Divided is also on sale. I believe you can get the digital deluxe edition of that for around $6. That's a great deal as well. I probably liked Mankind Divided more than most people, but I still saw Human Revolution as the better game. So if you're just getting started with the series, Human Revolution is a great entry point. And obviously, there are the older games, but at this point, from a technical sense, I just don't know how accessible those games are. A little bit more on the difficult side as well. So for newcomers, I would start off with Human Revolution. Moving on from that, we've got Dragon's Dogma Dark Arisen. That's 70% off for $8.99. Great deal on Dragon's Dogma. This was a game that I never really thought we would ever see on PC. It was one of the last games that hit last generation consoles, and I would always wanted the game to come to PC because the main issue with the title on last gen platforms was from a technical sense. Obviously on PC, Capcom did a marvelous job with the port, and the shackles really came off with this game. Now, what is the game itself? It's an open world RPG, very reminiscent of Soul. That's the most common comparison, but it's definitely got its own flair. Just with it being an open world, that already gives it a little bit of a difference, but it's very, very challenging, so know that going in. But it's a very engaging action RPG, and it still holds up pretty well today. Again, $8.99 for it, I would say, is a rather good pickup. Alright, so moving on from that, let's head into the Japanese RPGs, and I want to start off with one that I don't talk about often, and that is Star Ocean The Last Hope 4K and Full HD Remaster. This is 50% off. That last Star Ocean game left a lot to be desired. Star Ocean Integrity and Faithlessness was a pretty bad game. Luckily, that game isn't even on PC, so you can't even make the bad decision of buying that game. However, The Last Hope is on PC, so let's talk about The Last Hope. This is a really good game from a visual standpoint and a gameplay standpoint. Some of the best action combat that I've ever seen in a JRPG. However, you have to know the story of this game leaves a lot to be desired. This game has some of the worst voice acting that you will ever come across in a Japanese RPG. There are some cutscenes that are north of a half an hour, and yes, the story is completely jumbled, so this isn't a case of like Metal Gear Solid 4 where the storytelling is so great and the long cutscenes are worth it. In this game, the cutscenes are super long and the story isn't all too great. You gotta listen to some cringe voice acting, which honestly, to some people, you might see that as a positive because it's so damn funny, and the gameplay is still super strong. Again, the action gameplay is really what you're buying this game for. And to explore the different environments, I think that aspect of the game is really strong. Just don't expect to go into Star Ocean The Last Hope expecting this gripping narrative because you're not going to find that here. However, for $10 and change, I would say it's a pretty good pickup. Moving on from that, another older JRPG, DotHackG Last Recode. This is a collection of the 3 DotHackG games that were released on the PlayStation 2, compiled in one collection, and you've got a 4th shorter episode in there as well. It's 70% off for $15. With monthly, you'll end up getting it for $13.49. 75 cents back, you get it for $12 and change. Quite a good deal for this. Remember that DotHackG was released on the PS2 as 3 separate games. I remember because I bought this game on the PS2. I bought all 3 of them, and they were $49.99 a pop. So yes, we got absolutely ripped off for this game back in the PS2 days, but this is a great buy. You get all 3 of the games, which are each sizable experiences, each game roughly around 25 to 30 hours, and there's definitely some additional content to delve into, so overall, it's a very sizable experience. Now, this is a very old JRPG. I believe this was released around 2007, 2008, and you'll notice that some of the animations are super stiff, some of the voice acting isn't all the best. However, overall, the story's still pretty strong. The gameplay's a lot of fun. One of the other issues is the reused environments. Wasn't a big fan of that, but for the price that you're paying and for all of the content that you're getting, I think DotHackG Last Recode is a pretty good buy. And one of the more recent JRPGs that's very good is Dragon Quest XI Echoes of an Elusive Age. It's 40% off, $36, around $32 and change with Humble Monthly, and 90 cents back on this one. A really good deal for DQ11, and really good to see a traditional Dragon Quest game make its way over to PC. We saw Dragon Quest Class Warriors, but we wanted that traditional DQ title, and we got that with DQ11. Also got a really good story in here, and it is packed with content, around 50 to 60 hours. However, I should note this isn't the most open JRPG in the world. It does follow a more linear playstyle. However, a great JRPG nonetheless, and good to see it coming down in price as well. And lastly, I want to give a shout out to Tales of Berseria, which is 75% off for $12.49 with monthly. You'll get it for $11.24, 62 cents back on this one. Really good deal for Tales of Berseria, and I wanted to give this a mention because, of course, we recently had the release of Tales of Vesperia Definitive Edition, so the franchise has a little bit of a light shining on it right now. Vesperia is still super expensive at $49.99, so obviously not a deal on that. But Berseria is a great game. Now, you have to know about the Tales of game. Generally, with the fundamental gameplay, they stay intact game to game, and Tales of Berseria absolutely nails that aspect. All of the characters in Berseria are very fleshed out, and the main character in Velvet is one of the more engaging main characters in all of the Tales of franchise and all of JRPGs, honestly. More of an anti-hero, and they really didn't go the cliche route with the storytelling in this game, so I was really happy about that. And some people say that the recent Tales of games aren't that good, and I have to question those people. Did you play Berseria? Because Berseria was a great game and arguably the strongest in the entire franchise. In my opinion, Vesperia is the best game in the series, but Berseria is definitely up there with the best of them, and if you're into the Tales of games, it's definitely worth a buy. If you just want a quality JRPG to go into, one with a really solid cast of characters and an engaging story, this is one to go for, especially now at this price of $12.49. So that's gonna conclude this video, guys. Again, 10 great deals on RPGs available right now as a part of the Humble Winter Sale. Check them all out for yourself. I would appreciate if you guys use my link because I get a little bit of a back end as I am partnered with Humble. But nonetheless, they are great deals for you guys to check out. That's gonna conclude this video. If you guys have a request for a future video, leave it in the comment section down below, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out. Hey, what's going on, guys? Mush here again. Hope you enjoyed the video. As you guys might know, YouTube's notification system is sometimes a little bit wonky, even if you're subscribed to the channel. Maybe you're not abundantly aware that I uploaded a video. To remedy that situation, make sure you hit the bell notification button. This way, whenever I upload a new video, and I try to upload as consistently as possible, you will be notified directly of the upload, and you can watch it as soon as it goes live. I would really appreciate if you guys hit that button so you can stay up to date with all of the content I'm posting. But as always, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.